The VA has got issues with how it delivers care to an elderly population, something which is common to very many health systems. So the use of the technologies that the conference here today is on, the telehealth technologies, are a way to help elderly people who have chronic conditions like diabetes and heart failure to live independently in their own homes. What we're really about trying to do is to make the home or the local community the preferred place of care.
And how successful has that been? Because there's a real thirst here today for evidence, and you have that, some of that evidence, don't you? What has the success rate been?
It's a very good way to provide care. I mean, one of the things that happens is it's necessary to do research studies and get the background evidence, and then it's necessary to introduce things into routine care delivery. So as we're talking here now, back in the US there are 72,000 veterans who are being supported in their own homes by these various kind of technologies. Now the difference it's made is some of those veterans might be in long-term nursing home care. Some of them may well be having difficulties with managing chronic conditions. So as I mentioned, the aims of this, it's helping to live independently in their own homes.
How difficult was it to get people to adopt this, both the health professionals and the veterans themselves?
I think it follows most innovations in healthcare. Initially, clinicians are somewhat reticent because it's new. They tend to be concerned for their patients and say they're not sure whether patients will like it. I think the experience is that if it solves relevant problems for patients and is convenient to be able to use, it's something they take on board readily, which they did so. Clinicians were slightly more reticent in terms of taking it on board, but really, because it addresses significant problems in healthcare delivery, we found that we've got the buy-in. And like anything, there's the adoption curve where you start off with the early adopters and then gradually you get buy-in about those who are more able to use it in everyday care.
And where do you think that main reticence from the clinicians comes from?
Well, I think it's quite legitimate concerns about something new with patients and doing things in a different way. I also think that healthcare tends to be rather straight line in how it approaches things. So things are done in a certain way. Getting change isn't too easy. Once you've got that change, tends to then go forward in that new way. So I think it's the nature of healthcare.
And you are going to be speaking about surmounting challenges. What other challenges have they faced with the Veterans Affairs in the US?
There have been a lot of challenges, probably too many to start listing, and it wouldn't be particularly interesting. But I would just say one of my favourite expressions is that the devil is in the detail. So the vision of how you deliver care to people in their own homes is not too complicated to do, but actually how you take that vision of what it may look like in the future from where we are now, and what are those next steps. Those are the difficult things. And I perhaps a slightly different perspective, because when you're looking and you've got this whole panoply of things in the future, it's a big array, whereas we've already gone down a pathway, which means I'm somewhat focused. So I'll be talking about what we've done, some of the decisions of why we've gone there, the success, and stressing also leadership, working in an organisation which is really very enlightened in terms of uptake of health technologies and trying things in new ways, because the real challenge is we have a veteran population to serve, we've got tremendous needs, and the mission of the organisation is very focused on doing that.
You obviously know the UK very well. Do you think it will translate into the UK? Will the NHS adopt this full scale?
I wouldn't like to comment for the NHS. All I think I would say, because I think this is not just a question of nationally or internationally, it's also across different sectors of healthcare. I think that what it is about is common issues to do with the treatment of chronic conditions in an ageing population. So that's something which applies worldwide. So I think obviously my personal opinion is this will be the way we deliver healthcare in the future. How long it's going to take to get there, who's going to get there at what pace, I think we'll have to see.